going on, Flip Squad? It's your boy KUDOS, and welcome back to another Flip Talk podcast. We have amazing guests today, friends of mine. We go back to high school. We have EDWIN and EDGAR. They used to play on the baseball team with me, and I feel like they could bring so much information to you guys from our growing up and what they're doing now with sports. And of course, we have Alex, our co-host. What's going on, Alex?
What's going on, brother?
Everything's good. Everything's good. So Randolph, man, Randolph High School. So much stories. I'm not gonna lie, so much talent in Randolph. And, like we just had like a team. It felt like a football team. First of all, I felt like we had so much players, and then on top of that, everybody was good. So I feel like everybody was butting heads because everybody was trying to get playing time, this and that. And of course, we had like EDWIN was like the ace at the time. Edgar was playing outfield, right? Because you did a little bit of both. You did outfield and infield, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then obviously I was like catching and shit like that. So damn. So let's go back. So where you at? Where were you at then and now with baseball?
Oh man, it all started with knowing KUDOS since middle school. We used to play, baseball in the schoolyard with sponge ball and a baseball bat.
Yeah.
And we all brought our gloves before and after school. And then, we all had intention to play sports. So, we played Randolph in our application, and turned out to be, due to our grades, how well we done. I'm still in loss of word of how our middle school made us who we become today. We go to the same school, and me and KUDOS, we had class together like majority of the time.
Yeah,
we was in the same program, and at the time he was just doubting in regards to playing the game when he always has. So he tried to be a full-time bowler, which I know he is, stupendous. And he tagged along with me because the one thing about it that we always carry is leadership. And that's what we had in our team. That's why we had a winning tradition. The problem it was just a commitment in regards of staying in as a student athlete. But overall, the majority of us, we had a great time. We was one ruthless in a great way group that we was all in it to win it.
Yeah.
And we always had pride.
Yeah,
always pride.
For sure. I mean, in middle school, like, it's crazy you go back to middle school because I met EDWIN in middle school, and we had a baseball coach. I think it was Frias or something, right? And this man used to make us run the auditorium, like so our auditoriums had like stairs that go all the way up, and then so he used to make us run it like all day long. So like I remember that was like my first experience with conditioning. Like we were going every Saturday, just run for hours, just up and down the steps, and like that's when I started like getting into like I started playing sports when I was younger, but I feel like that's the first time I started meeting people within like the little sports community within the middle school. And then when we found out what high school he was going to, and then it was like Randolph, I was like, oh shit, like yeah, we definitely gonna go pursue the baseball team. Yeah, we gonna lock in, definitely pursue the baseball team and shit like that. But yeah, Edgar, what do you remember like when we met? Do you think we met through baseball or?
I think it was through baseball. Yeah, I can't remember if it was JV or varsity. I'm thinking back now. There was this dude, the coach. I think it was his first time coaching JV. I think his name was like Pete Guns. They used to call him.
Yeah, he was
Peter Gonzalez.
Peter Gonzalez.
Yeah.
I had him for JV basketball coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro.
He was pretty decent. He just didn't win.
You know what it is? He was one of those coaches that. His main thing was basketball because he did the whole college basketball thing, and then he's just like, oh, like I know a little bit about baseball. Let me be the JV coach because we had Sunkar as the varsity coach, of course. And Sunkar had a good track record, so. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Peter actually doing well now.
Yeah,
like his basketball team is up there. Like it's crazy. Yeah. Like it's became one of the top programs now.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Blessings to him.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Yo, Alex, how about you? Did you start in high school or middle school? Like when you started?
I started a lot younger. I started off at T-ball. Made my way through the. As my parents did, just keep going with the team. And then as I got to high school kind of my focus kind of fell off. Wasn't as dedicated as my brothers were. Because obviously living in the city, there's multiple distractions, multiple things, and I kind of fell in that rabbit hole. Um, but it didn't stop me from loving the sport and watching the sport and talking about the sport. And that to me always kept me intertwined, especially as I got to live with my brother, seeing every meeting a lot of other people as well. Meeting all these players that were in the same situation, man. They were great players, man. You watch, and especially in that part of town where in Vineland, in Jersey, where you have a lot of Sunday players. Players that come out on Sunday. Some of them play on the weekday. After work, they go play. You get to meet some of these guys, and some of these guys are just, you could tell that they were great players. It's just life ended up just, doing his thing, and and they're just great individuals and great players. They're knowledgeable. You see them, especially like on the Saturdays, teaching the kids, teaching these smaller kids how to play and be playing, sportsmanship and all that stuff. And and then even the Sunday leagues were good because then you got to see the softball players. You got to see all the old heads and how they played, and some of them were right there, right at the cusp. Especially my uncle was one of them. Boulevard Roscoe. He was, he has stories for days, man. He tried to get there. Unfortunately, life happened, so he wasn't able to become what he wanted to become. But his life ended up being a little more meaningful. Towards the end, being able to raise his kids the way he wanted to, providing them everything, being able to get them to that level. So that to me was most importantly now. Like I said, you're able to understand that shit happens in life, so you just got to take it for what it is, and be able to turn that into something very positive. Like Edwin here. You know what I'm saying? Like we get to a certain point in life, and we can just sit there and just say, we keep all this knowledge to ourselves. Like it's gonna go with us somewhere. We got to be able to teach our own children, and kids that are out there that that you're able to help and guide, and because you don't know where those kids may go. It just may take that one, that one conversation, that one vote of confidence, that one sole person to push them to the next level. And sometimes, it is a person like Edwin or my brother or my uncle, people like that'll just be able to come and push these kids forward, man. Which is what we definitely need out here.
And I feel like kids themselves, they have like certain talents that people don't know about. Like for example, like Edgar, like I always remember him being like he was always on time. He was always like he never missed practice. Yeah. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he made sure he had his bag. He made sure he had everything packed and all that. Like he was one of those people that you could count on. And like even to day, like I see Edgar as somebody you could count on. Like he's very. I'm sure he's like that in life. Like he makes sure he gets his his shit done, and he doesn't mess up or anything like that, in the sense of like planning ahead. And then like Edwin to me, he's always been like a workhorse, man. Like I know this kid used to be like 11 at night running the blocks in Harlem, like getting his conditioning in, like and people's like, yo, yeah, I saw him last night. He was just running like in the middle of the night, like so it's crazy to like see people with those talents, like just and something that they bring before they even speak to coaching. Like coaches can like guide players the right direction, but at the end of the day, the players are who decide what happens, and for sure. But yeah, so let's go. So now we're past the whole middle school. We're in Randolph. What do you guys remember most about Randolph in the sense of like the spirit? Because I feel like the baseball team, it was different. Like I feel like it was like its own little family. You know what I'm saying? Like it was different from all the other sports. Like don't get me wrong, the basketball team was always good, the softball team was always good, but like the baseball team, I just feel like we had, not only were we like lit and like all that, but like we used to have mad fun while we was like practicing and all that.
It was I feel like back in Randolph days, bro, it was so many of us. Like I feel like we made up like half of the school. Like it was almost like a culture thing. It's like, oh shit, we got a game. Everybody linking up at the school, figuring out how to get there and all that stuff. Like it was like, it felt like you said, like family. Like people just wanted to show out, show love. And even when it came to like the practices and stuff like that, right? Like you had so many different types of personalities, like clashing and all that stuff. It was crazy, bro. Like
Yeah.
it was wild.
And we used to practice a lot. Now that I think
was a
about
lot.
it, we used to practice multiple times a week. And I remember like me and Edwin, sometimes we would skip out on lunch and go to the weight room and like sneak into we would sneak into like some cars like fifth period lunch or some shit and like just lift like. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
At first, I used to tell KUDOS, "Hey, let's go in." He wasn't buying in.
Nah,
I'm like,
yeah.
"No,
I'm
we need
like,
to
nah,
get
I'm trying to go eat, chill. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You're
nah,
like,
let's go
nah, we
live.
need to
Let's
get
go live.
right. I'm like, the real food is when you get home.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
That's a
Literally.
fact.
Facts. Yo, but it's
Can't eat the
crazy.
fast fish and cheese, man. That's not gonna get you nowhere.
It's crazy when you're young though, because like I don't know if y'all knew, but like I used to go to practice after class, and then I used to go home, eat dinner, wait an hour, and then I used to go to like a boxing gym was on the side of my block, and I used to run, and then I'll box for like an hour, bro. Like it's crazy how much energy you have when you're young, bro. Like me trying to do that now, I'll be gassed out, bro. But like back then, I was doing that shit light. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna say it right now, man. I'm mad we ain't win a chip. We definitely had the talent to do it, and I just feel like I said,
around
yeah,
both years.
I just feel like we had so much talent, bro, and it just sometimes it's about like learning how to put that talent together to work together to win. Because I feel like
Our freshman year was a tougher one.
Yeah.
I was in like I still can't believe how I lost that game in the in the extra innings. That I just came in. I thought I was just going to shove it up the door, but right there was a turning point of how to become a better ball player.
Right.
Because, freshman year, yeah, I had the talent only because, growing up with my clone is like it's always a competitive thing. And plus my dad who always fully invested in himself being there. But like after I lost that game coming in to try to close it out, even though it was tie ball game, it was that turning point that I needed to become a better ball player. And it all started, out the field to become a better person. Then once I became a better person and, got my maturity level higher, then now you become a better person. Like you become in general, like you're golden. You become golden. And then everything comes in handy,
For sure. So let's go into like talking about a little bit, you don't have to get into your whole personal life, but just tell me where you guys are at now and like what has sports brought to you and your lifestyle and what you guys do currently now that is involved with sports.
So I'm the postgraduate head coach at Combat Academy located in Lincoln 10, North Carolina. It's like 30 minutes out of Charlotte. I'm also do school administration in regards to helping out the other organizations or around the school. What brings to me to that point is just it all started by coaching. I did my years and better opportunities come and man, to be a GOAT in that Combat Academy, well, that's our mascot. It's just been a wonderful time. And I'm looking forward to my debut and this upcoming January.
So you just got on the team? You just got like hired recently?
Well, I came in August, so it was on a quick phone call when I was with my clone in Michigan, and like I accepted the job immediately because it's not just only the being North Carolina, it's the program. They know it well, and I believe that they can put me at my best in my coaching abilities, and then besides helping out at the school administration, I'm also teaching, which I don't know. I'm surprised that I am, but I'm doing well, teaching these kids how to do better in the books. But outside it's all up with their coaches. Although I do have some of my kids, but I ensure that they do well on the field, well in the classroom, but especially on the field. I say you do remember at all times, KUDOS and EDGAR, and including Sokar has told us, you give us a 65 in the class, you're gonna get a 65 on the field.
Yep. That was the slogan right there, bro. I think the topic of like sorry to cut you off. I think the topic of like being a student athlete, bro, like that within itself is insane. Because like a lot of people, I think they don't give enough props to student athletes, and I wanna give all of those student athletes like their flowers, because bro, being a student athlete is tough. Like when you're talking about having to do homework after practice, bro, you both know. Like once you get at home after practice, bro, you want to take a shower, son, just lay down, just vibe out. Like you don't want to do anything related to homework, none of that stuff. So like what Edwin is doing, I really give you flowers for that, because that's an amazing feature, bro. To be honest,
for sure. Yeah, I definitely agree. Like I feel like there's nothing better that you could do. Like I'm like, there's two things for Edwin. I'm like, he's either gonna go to the league or he's gonna be the best coach out there. I always used to say that. Like I can't see you doing anything else that's not related to baseball.
I'm just pretty humble who knows the game. You know, I can't say I'm the best coach and all. I just
but you
like
could
to
be,
win.
Bro.
I know I can be.
Yeah.
I'm just, taking in, time by time. You know, like with the group of special kids that I have this upcoming season, it's going to be quite of a story there, man. And especially playing against my clone, in February. Oh my God, it will be an historic matchup that I can't wait.
Yeah. So Edwin has a twin brother, bro, and if I don't know, like he's good. He's mad good too, like Edward. And he was a catcher growing up. I remember he had like an arm. He used to pitch a little bit, but Edwin was like more of the pitcher. He was more of the catcher. But it's crazy. Yeah, like gifted. I got them genes for it, because I just remember from the jump from middle school, had talent. So, and his brother's coaching too, right? Your brother's coaching right now.
Yeah, he's actually coaching in Virginia right now at the junior college division school.
Yeah, so it's crazy. Y'all twins and y'all both coaches. Y'all both gonna play each other. I think y'all can make something special out of that. Y'all gotta vlog it or something. Turn a little video. Y'all gotta do a video. Yeah. You gotta have.
To say live stream.
You should have somebody walking around with you with a camera on your head, like all for the 24 hours of that day, from the morning to end. You gotta call them, FaceTime them, talk shit.
About it. We read about it. We don't sleep.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
We've been waiting for that moment. Like it's something that it will be reminisced forever in our coaching, and especially in our battles, and throughout all the battles that me and my brother and I had. You remember? Randolph, environmental.
Environmental science.
That was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
That was crazy, man. That was a crazy game.
Yeah,
it was a good game. We lost, but man, it was good to see. It was good to see that we had. Our Randolph team actually had an opportunity to go far, and even like throughout the season with wins, we were capable of getting our championships
and division
titles.
And the year right after we graduated, they win the chip.
I know, bro.
But you know why? Because the people we played against, it was way more difficult in my point of view. The
comp was different.
The competition was so much. So when like our senior class left, the competition was light. So our juniors and stuff at the time, they came seniors. They got bigger, stronger. I remember like Randall had a great season. Like. Yo, I wish we was part of that, bro. I would have been nice to walk around with that Randolph ring. I feel like
I could tell you by year, like what type of class we had, like from the ones that we played. 2009, we only had two players. One of them who was playing summer travel ball, and then somebody else who just saw the atmosphere and just tagged along, but he was a good contributor. Then 2010, we had few that we even had one that he was actually an all-star. But he was not doing well in the books. But until he seen that we had a team and we was winning, he was motivated enough to do well on and off the field. And he was a great guy, Alexis Gomez. I don't know if you guys remember him.
Yeah.
But he was like the man. He was like the Manny Ramirez, always with that intimidation. 2011, you had our captain Pablo, great guy, man. Missed him too. Then 2012 was us. We were the more talent with the more juice. How we used to say, and we was lit.
Mm-hmm.
We was lit. Then 2013, they had a great group. That's why they seen us, the way we play, and then they applied to it, and that's how they won the championship. And to win that championship, you had to play under some car system. If not, then you weren't a part of it. That's how it goes.
I'm glad he got that chip because he deserved it. I remember when he came from Bread and Roses, like he was just like, I need another chip before I retire. Like I remember he used to say that all the time.
Brandeis.
Oh, about Brandon, my bad. I was thinking Bread and Roses because it was down the hill, down the steps. But yeah, wait, Alex, which high school you went to?
I went to Grace Dodge here in the Bronx.
Oh,
okay. So I went to Grace Dodge Vocational. It was predominantly I think the ratio of the girls to boys was higher. The girls were more predominant there than the boys. But the baseball team wasn't as when I was playing, the team was good because they were juniors going to seniors. And then we kind of got into that mix of the playoffs. Jane Addams was probably one of the best teams at the moment. Fannie Lou was another one, but they were kind of like blah. But Jane Addams was the one. Jane Addams, you had some of those guys were just good in there. And they were beasts, man. Just watching them get, when we played them, it was kind of like we had to beat Jane. And it's tough getting a win against Jane. I believe we got one too when I was there. But definitely it was, like I said, it's harder, man. This inner city baseball life is hard because none of these parks are really well kept, man. It's like you're playing with like potholes in the outfield and the infield. You're playing with all this craziness, man. But it was definitely a fun experience, just being able to gel with some of those guys. I know I still speak to some of those guys as well. Obviously their lives are not, baseball centric anymore, but definitely, like I said, it was a great experience overall, man. Just being able to go through those battles together and play and try to it's just making small friendships here and there, man. But it was definitely a great experience for me.
For sure, yeah. I remember you used to see like the good fields when you got to the playoffs. Like when you got to the playoffs, you started playing those schools that had their own baseball fields and stuff like that. Because I remember we used to play a lot in like Central Park. We used to play Dykeman and Enwood Park. We used to play in and then we used to play a little bit in Randall's Island.
Mm-hmm.
What a time!
Yeah, bro. It's crazy to reminisce, bro.
All the old heads, the Patelito lady coming around. Bro.
Some car used to get tight when he used to see us eating. Like he's like after the game. Like
she used to like feed the Patelitos through the gate and shit.
Yeah. That shit was probably man unsanitary, but
you were young at that time.
Yeah. Be like
He told me one time, those Phillies are going to kill you. I'm like, I don't care. Light.
he probably wasn't lying. They probably had mad oil, but
yeah, facts.
But yeah,
bro. Food was different back then.
What was that?
I wanted to go back to what Alex said about the inner city baseball fields being tough. I don't know if y'all know, but like right now I'm in northern VA, right? And boy, when I'm driving to DC and I'm going through VA, I just look at these middle schools and high schools, bro. These things look like universities, and I'm just like, yo, these kids out here got it good.
Yeah,
like, it's everywhere in the South.
No, man, it's
everywhere.
Yeah, when I live with my brother, looking at some of those football fields or those baseball fields, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Think about these kids, and even if you go further south, you see especially like Florida, Texas is another one. California, you got these high schools that just have these fields, man. They if you think that kids like us that grew up in the inner city like that would have had those type of opportunities, like being able to play in a field like that, maybe those situations would be different. Because it gives you a little bit of more of a, I don't know. It's like it gives you a little bit of a more of a prideful thing. It kind of like when you're at home playing in front of those people, it's a big difference. When you're in a city park you're still kind of playing with pride, but it's not the same as you playing at home under the lights in front of the school. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It does make a big solid difference. But even if that, you still have like it just would have been, to me. That's why some players, even from the inner cities that are good, end up moving, going to upstate. They go to the Binghamton or they go south. I remember one of the guys that I used to play with. He ended up going all the way to Tennessee, to Memphis, just because it was a better baseball situation for him. When he graduated, he was able to get into a D1 situation. He ended up getting hurt, but it gave him a better opportunity, a better window to push through and excel to where he wanted to be at.
Absolutely. I'm excited when I have kids, bro. It's over. Like, get up. I'm going to the field right now. Let's go.
6 a.m. hitting the pots and pans. Pop, pop, pop.
It plays a big part, man, because it's like, when you have those facilities, man, and you're able to coach the kids the way you want to because you have the space for it.
I believe that it's more like the grind, because it's basically how we grew up. So, like, if you guys think about, the comparison is huge. Like, we lived in New York City. The population is nearly 9 million. Yeah. So, we didn't have enough space to even, have practice well, like the way that we wanted to instruct or be instructed. But then as I'm over here now, like, I have enough space to, coordinate everything. And it's been well, and it's great. And to be honest, like my baseball field looks so well, and we're in the works. Like, but if you see those high school fields, they look like literally a legit Division III, like, college baseball field, NCAA, and you look at them and you're like, wow, this is crazy.
It's like some like double-A ballpark status. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They got lights. They got they got a mascot jumping around, spinning around, doing cartwheels.
Absolutely. Like, their spirit is up there. Their spirit is up there, and I get props for that. Like, you gotta give some flowers.
Definitely. And like I said it, and it's just like how you said it. When you're able to develop your program the way you want to and have the space to do it, it makes a big difference. Because then it shows you. It really shows you who's committed, who's ready to push forward and see your vision. Especially as kids, because kids, if they don't have that guidance, if they don't have that mentality set from a set point, they can veer off. You'll see that. And, especially here in the city where everything is a distraction. Everything is a major distraction from girls being number one, what your friends are doing, or what they about to do or how they're going to hang out. So here's a big difference because they're able to veer off. But over there, like, from what I've seen, having that structure, having that facility, having those opportunities to say, you know what, and then the parents are different too. Because the parents are like, guys, we gotta go. Here, especially, I don't know if your parents were like this, but my parents were, they were constantly working to provide for us. So it was kind of left up to myself to be able to be on practice on time, make sure I got there, the games on time, make sure I had everything ready to go. Because my mom wasn't home to constantly monitor, do I have everything? Or my dad, tried to show up. My mom tried to show up to the games as much as they possibly could. But it's a different, like I said, here's a very, very different mindset towards everything.
For sure.
Yeah, mine was the same. It's just my dad. He did it all. Like, I give props to him to even be handling 2 twins and an older brother. 3 guys. And he put all of us to play baseball. So, he took all his time. Like, as soon as he got out of worked early in the morning, 6 a.m., then get off at 2, then pick us up, and then, we just practice all day. And I could thank him forever for that. That's why I'm here. It's because of him and the man above. But, hey.
Listen, I ain't want to chip in Randolph, but I want to chip in Edwin's dad's travel team. We Riverbank State Park champions for sure. So that travel team was crazy too. I do remember that shit?
Oh man, I remember when I, experienced my first ever injury there with my groin, and I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like, I was not able to play the playoff game, but came back in the championship and help them win. We all were contributors. We were stars, but contributors at the same time.
Yeah.
Because like every game we had a special moment. Like all of us did something that we were just hyped up. And it's crazy because, when you're scheduled to play against all of them, your opponents, we only lost one time. And that one time is because we wanted to try a new style. We had enough styles to win a game. We could have done small ball. We could have done balance. We could have done just launching homers, and we were dominant, pretty dominant. And that's when I believe that KUDOS abilities got better, because it's like, it was that year that, when it hit sophomore year, we was like, okay, we need to crunch in, because I know what I did, my wrongdoings, KUDOS was doing great on the both ends. Me, on the side of it, freshman year, and I was just being a goofball. But, you live and learn.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. I used to love that field. There was turf, too. And then you had the big fence over at left. And you had the basketball courts over to the center and right. So, and it was right by the river. So it was like a nice view. It used to be mad cold and windy.
Not gonna lie, when I used to go over there to the Riverbank turf field, I used to hate that mound, bro. That mound was treacherous.
That was my baby. That mound is my baby to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, I live across the street, so sometimes when I walk into the park, I go to the field, I just step on the mound and just remember everything. I don't know. It's just to fresh out anytime, you just need to think mentally. Like,
for sure. That nostalgic feeling, bro.
Yeah. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do 2 segments. The first segment is you have to tell me the funniest story, baseball related. There's something that it could be something that happened in school. It doesn't have to be like on the field, but like a funny story, a really funny story that you remember from high school. And then the second thing we're gonna talk about, which we'll leave for after everybody goes, is we're gonna talk about who's the GOAT. I wanna do some controversy conversations, and just we could talk basketball, baseball, all that. But I want to see who's your GOAT and why, and who you think is next up. Because I feel like that's gonna help the sports car community. I feel like how players are currently playing affects the car's values and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people that do the hobby to make money, but there's people that do it to collect cars. So I feel like the information you give them will help out either way you look at it. So let's start with the craziest Randolph baseball team story you got, and it could be something nobody knows about. You could hear it first here. So let me know if y'all need some time to think. I could go first or whatever, and then Alex, you could let us know the craziest thing that ever happened to you too. I'm gonna start it off. It was sophomore year varsity baseball practice. So remember Randolph used to Sun Car used to make us run the stairs. Remember, right by the gym, we used to go up and down the stairs. So that day, we finished class early, and Pedro Mora, I know that y'all remember him. Shout out to Pedro if you watch this. We was mad hungry, bro, and we was like, damn, bro, let's go get a chopped cheese up the block. So we get a chopped cheese, we get our drinks, all that, and then we don't have time to like eat it and then go to the practice. So we show up to the practice. We're in the gym, sitting on the floor. We chew that shit like, bah, just fuck it up, right? And then there's literally like 5 minutes left for practice to start. That's the worst decision we ever made, bro. Like, 20 minutes into the practice, running up and down the stairs, me and Pedro started throwing up everywhere, and like that was the most embarrassing moment. I don't know if y'all remember that, but we was like, it was like the first practice of the year, I think, and we were like throwing up everywhere. I'm like, damn, we need to get conditioned. So that's always something that's gonna stick with me, bro. Shit. And I know it wasn't just me, because I'm like, if Pedro's throwing up too, he ate the same thing as me. It was the food. So I think we got like food poisoning or something from that chopped cheese. Yeah.
Yo,
The government brick.
Yo, anybody that went to Randolph knows about that chopped cheese. That was the thing to buy. Like that's a New York thing. That's definitely a New York thing. But everybody and their mother got a chopped cheese after school.
Yeah, bro. Queso viejo. They got the old cheese.
But yeah, I don't know if y'all got it. Y'all got something in mind of a story, but feel free to chime in whenever y'all ready.
Nah, there's a lot of funny stories because, it's at Randolph. Oh my God. Well, for what I could think of, all right, so this was an in-game situation.
Mm-hmm.
So we're playing against Luperon.
Oh my God.
Luperon is our rival.
Mm-hmm.
And we're playing at Randall's Island. And we're getting destroyed. It just wasn't our game. We thought that it was going to be, typical routine, low scoring game, 1-run game, whoever wins, right? But in our sophomore year, we got delivered. And I remember when the team meet up after the game, Sankar, he said what he had to say, and he said it nicely. At JP, our senior captain, he was a very talented player, and he was a knucklehead too. And in that moment, because he couldn't handle what Sankar had to say, like because he said it in the nicest way, we're all used to all honest. He just started like throwing helmets all around, and then just like started punching his head. And I had to tell him like, whoa, like, hold on, that's it. We're gonna get him next time. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're gonna have to play at our home. Mm-hmm. We had to end up playing in Randall's Island. Mm-hmm. But like this guy like literally went nuts, and and I felt him because it was the fact that he wanted to win, but we just didn't have our game. It was a 10 a.m. game, unexpected. Mm-hmm. Randall's Island, which one of those 82 fields, well, 40 of them for our high school for the high school level, and we just played there. We didn't do well. Mm-hmm. But then the next game,
we got him in Inwood. We got him in Inwood.
Got him in Inwood. We actually got him in Inwood, and it was crazy. I hit that walk off.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was off of the same pitcher that the coach thought I wouldn't hit off him. I mean, I always say this: you mess up once, you mess up again. The third time, you can't mess up. Mm-hmm. So it was my third time, and I had to do something. That's why I just put the ball in play, hit the ball opposite field, and won it. And then JP afterward felt relieved. but like, it happens when people had so much heart into the game, and I will always understand.
Yeah, shout out to JP, man. Shout out to those seniors from that class. I remember it was JP, Argenis, Xavier. I remember all of them. Shout out to all of y'all. I ain't say y'all name, but
that class made us. Mm-hmm. That class, man, one to remember.
For sure.
Always.
Yeah.
So Edwin, let me ask you a question. When you got to see him, I think you said this was the third time you got to see that picture.
Yeah.
Did anything stick out to you? Like, as many players get to see certain pictures multiple times. Did something stick out to you knowing that you was going into that at bat, knowing that, I already seen him twice. I know what he's gonna do, or was it just like, you were just ready and you knew what was coming, or you just pretty much you were looking for yours?
First and foremost, I'm a left-handed hitter. My twin is a right-hander, so that's how we can, anybody could tell which is which, and by positions. But also, I was facing a left-handed pitcher, softball, who threw 3/4, and he had a crazy deceptive pitches, man, secondaries. It was curveball, slider, changeup, and he got me good. But then you learn every day, like, because you will see him again. And it was in that moment, like I remember there was a tie ball game, and we literally, like, it was in that moment for me to just put the ball in play. And it's crazy because the game of baseball is wicked. In freshman year, we lost a game 3-2, right? And the following year, we won 3-2. And the craziest part is that our catcher, JP's cousin, Argenis, he let the ball drop. You know, he blocked well, but the ball was put away. Luperon was a base running team, so they knew what to do. And they literally, like, freshman year, they took the lead on that, and I lost that game. And sophomore year, I was in that same position, and literally they tied the game on that in that moment. The game was 2-1. We was winning, and they, like, just tied the game by sending home. So then afterwards, I needed some redemption, like an actual redemption. So it was that turning point, like, what am I going to do? Either swing for daddy hacks or just swing it. Put the ball in play. Utilize the field. So it was bases loaded, and we're playing in Inwood. Everybody's out there.
Mm-hmm.
I got, in that moment, like, I feel chills. Like, I have plenty of chills. Like, my heart is beating, but at the same time, I had the confidence. I needed to bring it home. So right there, with that game winning hit, we shared the division titles.
Yep. And I don't know if you remember, but that win made us the only team to beat them that year. That's how good that team was. We gave them the only loss of the year.
And that
Literally.
one burned.
Yeah.
That one burned. Because that one loss, the one was like,
they would have had a perfect season. They would have beat us that game. They would have had a perfect season.
That's the one that hurts the most. They probably still think about this game to this day.
For sure.
That's how much it burned.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Man, that game was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was loaded. Like, the fans was there. They all were running their mouths. But I was into the game. Once when you're, lose focus, you're out. You're out. Completely out. Especially playing in New York City.
Yeah.
Especially playing in New York City. You have to know how to play the game. Yeah. Because one is the discipline. Then look at the baseball field. Like, it's not like the dirt. It was a hit and miss. It was either good to, make easier plays or difficult most of the time.
Playing on cement half of the time is what you felt like you was playing.
Yeah.
But luckily, I was playing in the outfield. But sometimes when I dove, like, I ended up getting scratches, scabs, and it was a killer. After the game, when you had to go shower and then it stings you, like, crazy. But it was good because, part of playing in New York City, you don't get the best fields, so you have no other choice but get it done.
Yep.
Yeah, and let's not forget the commute getting there. Oh my God, having to carry your bags in a packed subway. Oh man, that used to be the worst.
Remember when we went to American Legion?
Mm-hmm.
All the way to the L, and the last stop. Then we had to walk. So
by
took the walk.
By the time we got there, we was shot. Like, literally.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm. How about
Things happens when games are postponed and you don't have a high school field. Yeah. You have to go neutral site.
Yeah. What was your highlight moment, Edgar? What was like that one play, that one game that stood out for you?
All right, for me, it came to my head when I was thinking back a little bit. So
yeah,
I think it was shout out to my boy Carlos Ramirez.
Hey, Carlos.
Yeah, my boy Los. Yes. We used to practice and stuff like that, like on the weekends and stuff, right? And he was the one that introduced me to the 12-6 curveball because I was pitching at the time in Randolph. So he was like, yo, you got to try this, bro. The 12-6 is going to catch people off guard crazy. Like, your curve is cool. I had the regular curve. But he was like, yo, that 12-6, throw that joint like this. Mm-hmm. Yo, watch. And when we started doing it in practice. And there's one time we was playing in Inwood, right? It was like the nighttime. And you know how I get over there in the nighttime. It'd be like all the old heads in the back of home plate, just there chilling. And then I look over to I remember before we started that game, Carlos was like, "Yo, you gotta throw it, bro." And I was like, "I bet, say less." So I was up there on the mound, and I think I had it was in the later innings. One of the batters, my catcher, I don't remember who it was at the time, but they hit me with the two, and I was like, "I bet I'm gonna just try it, bruh." I tried it, and when I threw it, it came out so beautifully. Like I gotta stand up for this one. Yo, the batter was like this. He went up like this and then went down because it looked like it was gonna go up. It was gonna stay up, and then just boom and broke down, bang.
Broke down last minute.
And everybody, bro, and like Edwin said, you got to know how to play the game. So when the batter did that, bro, I just heard everybody flaming that kid, bro. I was like, "El Diablo!" Yo, I kid you not, bro. I threw a fastball after that, and then I went right back to the 12-6 and struck him out. That was like the best feeling, like, alive, bro. Like, especially when you could, like, practice something repeatedly and then just apply it in game. It's a different feeling. Different feeling.
For sure. And that's those are the moments you remember, and you keep true to yourself. So that's what's up.
Yep.
For sure.
For sure, bro.
But all right, let's talk some sports right now. So let's do basketball real quick, and we'll go into baseball and keep it with the topic. So right now, who's your GOAT, Jordan or LeBron?
I'm gonna have to go LeBron because it's two different eras, right? For me, I wasn't able to like experience like the era of Jordan growing up because I was a youngin and I didn't know much better. But like being able to grow up and like watching LeBron play, and all that stuff, how the way that he leads the teams, how he puts people on his back, like I know Jordan was a force to reckon with, but like it's a different like feeling and a different like experience when you're actually engaged in watching it like live versus just being able to tap into the highlights. Like, yeah, we can go back and see highlights for a lot of players, but it's a different feeling to be able to see it like in action kind of thing. So for that and all the qualities that LeBron brings to the game, I would definitely have to say LeBron.
Okay. So it's more of the I grew up on LeBron, and I got to see it firsthand. And then you're looking at these Jordan highlights, you're like, LeBron could do better. It's one of those situations.
Yeah, it's one of those situations.
Okay.
Sure, for me.
Okay. Yeah. Alex, did I ask you this question
talked
before?
about it.
Yeah.
Talked about it in the first podcast.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, like I said, it just seems like I'm a lot older than you guys because I graduated in 2004 from high school. So I did get to see Jordan, obviously in his later years, and I was watching basketball already about 5-6 years old. My dad watched a lot of sports, so definitely basketball was something I watched because I grew up a Knicks fan, still am a Knicks fan, watching all the Knicks greats. But, obviously Jordan was that guy when he came into the Garden, already know that he was going to do something special every time. And watching Jordan's finals, watching him play, watching everybody else in that 90s era come up, to me, my favorite, and like it's still to me, like MJ is the GOAT in that era. But to me, like, having LeBron in that era, for me, it was definitely Kobe Bryant in that era. He was starting to come up through that. He started winning chips with Shaq and the rest of those Lakers. Just Kobe's determination is so ill, man. Watching him go out night after night, man, and just now just starting to see, a lot of the stuff that people talk about now with Kobe, his mentality, the way he was in the gym every morning, every night, going out there and watching even Julius Randle do the same thing that Kobe showed him, go out there and just keep repeating, repetitive, constantly going out there, give out your heart, give out your heart, go to, even still go to a gym, shoot for half an hour, still do everything else. So that to me, Kobe was definitely to me. And if it was to say that era of basketball, definitely Kobe would be the GOAT.
Okay, so you will put Kobe over LeBron and Jordan.
Yes.
Okay.
At that era,
which is respectable to me. Honestly, those are my top three.
I'm not gonna pick 45-year-old Jordan over Kobe at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But But in that era, definitely within that era of LeBron and Carmelo and everybody else, Kobe definitely to me is that GOAT.
Okay. Edwin, come on. Let's see. So we got right now we got LeBron and Kobe. How about you?
Man, I would have to tag along with Alex. It's Kobe, man. There's one guy that I have seen him play, through TV and on television, not in person, but it's the greatness, like the amount of practices, amount of injury that's still on the court, and the NBA level back then was very competitive. It was actually not soft like today. And I can agree with Mike Jordan too. I mean, he literally just did it all. He was not just only a basketball player; he was a baseball player. He left the game for a while, and then came back and got a few more rings. And then he just went to another destination that he just wanted to finish his career. So overall, like in my own eyes, I pick Kobe. Kobe is the GOAT. You
Gotcha.
can't to walk out and still with injury playing, walk out with 60 points against Utah. Man, no, nobody will ever be like him. He's fully committed. He was fully committed to one team. He could have went to anywhere else. He could have played with his favorite team where he was growing up. I think the Sixers, but he didn't. He decided to stay with the Lakers after Shaq left them, and he got another team along with another star, Paul Gasol, and he decided to get two more.
Right.
So by then, everybody needed to understand it was tough to beat Kobe, including LeBron.
Most definitely was.
Jordan played Kobe when Kobe was young. Jordan was already, past prime. So it is pretty understandable, but LeBron and Kobe played against each other at a good best time that we all got to see. Yeah, LeBron, he brought up a great organization in Cleveland and all, but then when he made that move to Miami, I don't know. I just believe that Kobe was the better one because he stuck with one team, and he made history, and now he's forever the GOAT to me.
For sure. I mean, I feel like what makes it so controversial is consistency. I feel like everybody's always looking, but because the biggest thing when anybody talks about MJ, they're like, he's consistent. He won this amount of X amount of championships, and he only missed he only lost one, if I'm not mistaken. So that's why they put him over LeBron, because LeBron's gone to the finals a lot of times, but he hasn't been winning all of them. So I feel like what LeBron's missing is probably he's gonna break the scoring record. So I feel like that's gonna help him, but then he needs to win at least 2 more championships. So to
what I think the biggest difference is too, bro? My bad to cut you off.
No, you got it.
It's to me is Kobe kind of did it alone once after Shaq.
Yeah.
Jordan pretty much had to do it. He was kind of alone, but then he did have Scottie Pippen. He had Dennis Rodman. He had
of course,
Tony Kukoc. He had those. And I felt like LeBron always tried to pursue that. He always tried to find those 3 or 4 players, that where you needed the you need these 4 around. You have this weird assembly of everything. And to me, I sincerely don't, like I said, LeBron's game is ill, but he always tries to find that nucleus, that weird nucleus of, I need this, that around me, and he can never find. Especially now in LA, he can't find it. He can't find it to save his life, and it sucks for him because it's like you're trying to last a little bit longer in his league, and he is. It seems like he's gonna play another 10 years because he just looks that good sometimes. But that to me, I think for me, it makes kind of that whole Kobe over LeBron situation.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, out of the three, I feel like Kobe definitely has the best work ethic. Not saying that Jordan didn't work hard, but you know, at the end of the day, like after Jordan was winning all those chips and stuff, he was hanging out, he was gambling, playing golf, like he was staying in shape and everything. But if he truly committed to the gym, I just feel like maybe he could have got that scoring record. You know, like you have to look at it in that perspective because Jordan wasn't. I'm not gonna say that he wasn't the most consistent at all of them because there was a time where he stopped playing basketball to go play baseball for a season, and it's like what would he have done that whole year that he spent playing baseball if he would have stayed in the NBA? You know, like that would have been a certain amount of points that could have been in his record. He could have won another chip in that year. You never know. Like that's how you have to look at it. You have to stay committed. I feel like LeBron had a moment where he wanted to go to the NFL, but it's like, nah, like you're considered one of the goals. Like focus to your sport and try to be the best at it. I just feel like when you're trying to multitask so much is so much you could do. So, just because of that, right now I still have Jordan at first, and honestly I will put Kobe at second and then LeBron at third. Just because of the work ethic, how committed they are, and Jordan didn't have the physical abilities like LeBron in a sense of not like vertical and stuff, but like the way LeBron's built. Out of the three, LeBron's built the best. He's the tallest, and he's a truck. Like it's hard to get past him. I feel like if you bump Jordan, you know he'll fall to the floor more easily if you try to bump, you know, LeBron or Kobe. So. And you have to remember, like Edwin said, Kobe was hurt all the time. So imagine if he wasn't hurt, what he will be able to do.
Because he was going to that basket. He was going to challenge whoever was under that hole.
Yeah.
He didn't care because he was going for it. But even if you watch, and this is something that like I said, if you ever watched Jordan when he first came into the league and watch those videos and watch how he used to get pounded. You're talking about the bad boy Pistons when they had a young Dennis Rodman, you know, and you know, you had this team built around punishment. That's what the Detroit Pistons were. When they were playing the old Showtime Lakers and they were playing the old Boston Celtics, you know, everything was physical, man. Everything was just, you weren't coming to the hole. You had to earn that shit. That's why Michael, you know, when he went to the hole, bro, he was constantly getting pushed around, shoved around, until they had, you know, then the Jordan rule, you know, ascended. You know what I'm saying? That's when that happened because of Michael. Because Michael was trying to always go to the hole, but he always get smacked in the face, you know, elbowed. It was just constantly punishment. Yeah. And Kobe kind of, you know, embraced that as well. He was like, bro, I'm going to the hole, and I'm going to score. If you're going to hit me, hurt me. But, you know, and unfortunately for him, Jordan wasn't as hurt as, you know, as much as Kobe, and neither is LeBron, because Kobe just put his body through punishment, through hell.
Right.
But you know, that's definitely the differences between the three of them, and definitely are big differences.
Yeah, I just feel like the reason Kobe and MJ will be above LeBron is because they were more clutch, and to me, they were better shooters. You know, now we're seeing LeBron. He got his three down. He's starting to move back like Curry and stuff like that. But you have to look at it as an overall career. LeBron wasn't shooting at first in the beginning of the beginning of his career. For most of his career, he was just coming down, you know, trucking people, just dunking it on them, catching alley oops all the time in the heats. Like that's what he was doing. You know, like doing post fades and stuff like that. So, Kobe to me was definitely the best shooter out of the three. MJ had probably the best quick first step. I just feel like he was so fast off the ball. And then LeBron's probably the best athleticism in the sense of like vertical. But obviously Jordan is debatable because Jordan will stay in the air for like 20 seconds and freaking spin the ball like 3 times and then throw it up in the air. So it really depends how you're looking at it. But I don't know. I just feel like that's always gonna be an ongoing topic and figuring out who the true GOAT is. So, but I appreciate y'all definitely getting y'all input for sure. All right, so let's move down to baseball. Is everybody here a Yankee fan?
I know I am.
Yeah.
I know I am.
Edgar, what's your team right now?
It's kind of tough, bro.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay if you're not, bro. It's okay if you're not. Like, it's okay.
For me, let me get a little backstory here. Right?
Let me hear.
For me, I was always the type, right, to like always see and follow players, right, and not per se teams. So when I was in my Randolph days, like coming up, and I was a baseball head, like heavy, I used to fuck a lot with David Ortiz. I used to fuck a lot with Manny Ramirez. So like all of those players, bro. I see Alex over here shaking his head like, nah, bro. All of those players for me, it was like I looked up to those guys, right? So like for me, whenever someone asked me, "Oh, what's your favorite team?" I would always say the Boston Red Sox at the time because they were playing for the Red Sox, and that's the team that I was mainly focused on. So like that's why it's kind of hard for me to say like, oh, what's my favorite team? It's more like basketball is the same thing too. It's like I always follow the players and like not per se like the teams. I respect anybody that like roots for their home team, like where they from, kind of thing. But for me, it's like it's always weird. I always had that connotation, like, oh, just because I'm from New York, I'm not gonna go for the Yankees. I was always that oddball out. People used to flame me for that. But it's like I don't know, bro. I just can't.
Yeah. I feel you. Nah, it's crazy though because I'm glad you were brought up Manny. I feel like Manny Ramirez doesn't get the respect that he should. I think he was a great talent and he was great to watch. And this is me saying it as a Yankee fan. Like I'm always gonna be a Yankee fan, and I'm always gonna be against Boston, no matter how good they're doing. But I have to give it up to like being Dominican and seeing what Manny Ramirez was doing. It was nice to see because, he went to George Washington. That was in Washington Heights. Like like Edwin. I don't know if y'all know, but Edwin ended up playing for G-Dubs when he transferred from Randolph. He went to G-Dubs. He got to play a season there, and honestly, I want you to talk about your experience there because for those of you that don't know and aren't from New York, George Washington is the school that's known for baseball. Like they have so many greats come out of there. Like I just said, Manny Ramirez from the Boston Red Sox went to George Washington, and I feel like every year they have somebody going to the minors. And when I heard Edwin went to George Washington, I was happy for him. I was like, damn, he's leaving Randolph, man. My best friend's leaving the school. But at the end of the day, like I know it was probably the best move for him, talent wise, to be seen by other people and recruiters. And I want you to share your experience a little bit playing in George Washington.
I mean, due to my departure from Randolph, it was due to lack of commitment from our teammates. And at a time you needed to start worrying about yourself. As much as you're a team player, but also I needed to focus on being recruited and whatsoever. So I ended up playing one of the prestige summer ball teams in the country, and I was exposed enough to get recruited. So in that summer, I just ended up going to, after a great summer with the team, I just ended up transferring to George Washington. And when I go to George Washington, man, all I can say, it is the Manny Ramirez High School. Everybody's there for one goal, 30 bodies, one heart. It was strictly baseball. Waking up, going to school. After school was practice up till 7 o'clock, and it was legit practices. Like them playing for them, the atmospheres was crazy. Like if you're not in it, you're not winning. You're not winning it. Like it was one hell of a program where, I'm always blessed to play with, because, my teammates there, all of them play for my pops. And, at a time being a part of us growing up, it was mutual. Like all of us were ball players from even before getting into high school. All of us we all played against each other over the summer. But then now, like when you go in, you're basically playing with them. And the one thing we always had is just that we always had this great chemistry, and we brought it into the field. And, I sat out my junior year, but I ended up getting a championship. Then I'm always going to recall a wicked moment from my AD. She tells me, "Oh, that's going to be you on the mound next year's championship." Next thing you know, it happened. I ended up losing 2-1 against Grand Street. And it was a good one. It was tough to beat them, but hey, it was one hell of a game. Then afterward, that's when I went off to college, junior college in Texas. Then to, you know,
Stony Brook.
Yeah, I put up my numbers at Odessa to go to Stony Brook, and then Stony Brook I ended up getting another championship because I believed in it. After we were senior year, and they literally shocked the world by being in LSU to go to the College World Series. That was my main reason because they want to win. So you got to go somewhere, to win. Yeah, you start growing up as a baseball player, to love the game, but then in the business standpoint, you got to be a ball player that can contribute to win. So I had to go somewhere where I felt like it was best, brotherhood, and I was able to get better. And Stony Brook was what it came by. Throughout all these other schools, I chose Stony Brook. Hey, play America East Conference. It was tough. You play Binghamton. You play. I even ended up playing against Florida. I had to go down to Gainesville. I played against Harrison Bader. Man, I'm always gonna remember that he had a double right down the line off me at a 14 pitch at bat. Like I tried to get him with the breaking ball, but he just kept on hitting fouls. Like I even played against him over the summer. Like I got to meet him over the high school years when he was playing with the Grays, and I was playing with New York Nine. But we also met up again in Florida, Gainesville. He was like one of the star players on the team, along with Pete Alonso, Richie Martin, AJ Pug. That team was crazy.
And these are big names you're saying. This is not just like a regular ball player from the hood. Like no.
But I can recall this is how the series went. We lost 1-0. We coming in playing against the number one team in the country, and we thought that we was going to get delivered, but we lost 1-0, and we brought up the confidence going into game 2, but then we got delivered, and then game 3 we just lost, and it was by multiple runs, but we got swept. But it was a great experience, and then from those experiences, you apply to it to next games, and that's how you get better. But man, GW, if it wasn't for GW, I wouldn't think I would be here where I'm at right now, honestly speaking. Because GW just didn't make you as a human being. They actually made you as a Trojan. Like you couldn't be soft at all. And you had a legendary coach who, man, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest. One of the greatest coaches I've ever been coached. And with his monotone voice, it's like it had everyone listen. Once he opened his mouth, everybody needed to listen. If not, then it wasn't him that was going to handle the consequences. He just called it. It would be the assistant, and the assistant will send you out there. And that's how it goes. And that's how my discipline, into the game, got better. If I was showing bad disciplinary actions, trust me, my career would have been over sooner than. So the best advice I could give to these, kids who are playing today's game, play the game the right way and don't show your emotions. Show your ego to the passion of the game. Because when you're out of it, you're completely out of it, and who knows what is your next move. But when you do good, you do know what's your next move because you're already 2 steps ahead. And literally, that's how it goes in every stage of life. It could be anything what you do.
That's very true. But yeah. So just to like finish off that part of the conversation, at what moment, especially your career, because I feel like you have a very unique career. I don't feel like everybody gets to experience that, where they get to play for one of the big high schools in New York, baseball wise, and then on top of that, you get to go to the States and play for D2. Stony Brook was D1 at the time, right? Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So it's like to get to experience that. Like that's a lot of people's dreams. They want to play college ball and stuff like that. So at what moment did you decide that you were gonna go down the coaching route? Like what was that transition for you, and how do you feel? Because I feel like, honestly, like I'm happy for you, and I don't know if deep down you're like, damn, like you still have that drive of wanting to go to the league, right? But because I know how you are, I know how committed you are to baseball. But like, I see you being a great coach, and like, I can see you being a head coach one day, and truly like building that credential as a coach, and getting a bunch of chips and stuff like that. So yeah. So the question. Let's go back to the question. So at what point do you switch over to wanting to coach, and why?
After my third year at Stony Brook, I ended up being hurt badly, right? So I was just being a player coach with my dad over the summer. And next thing you know, like, just looking at his eyes, like, his time was running. And, and in my mindset, I was like, it's just to keep the legacy. So I see my brother, like, taking small steps and tagging along because, what me and my brother do is just that we just look at each other and just do it. So we both were being player coaches, and then a couple of years later, I just decided to start coaching, and start coaching full time. So I was coaching youth baseballs, New York Bluebirds. They would play on Sundays, just like Alex was saying. A lot of kids go play on Sundays and all. Located in Randolph Island, sometimes upstate. It could be somewhere in the city. And then I just started leveling up myself up. I coached 1 year with my hometown, Burbank. Won, oh man, great time. 5 championships at major tournaments. Then I started looking at myself that, damn, I could really do this. So then I just moved on to become an assistant at several high schools. I was helping out a little bit at GW, and then I coached at Community Health Academy and then 158th and Ashland right there in the Washington Heights. And I was coaching at Columbia Prep, downtown 96. I added those accolades, and then, this past summer, I felt like it was time. It was time for me to, become a head coach. And now it's time, an actual head coach. I was coaching summer ball when my dad passed me the torch. But, I wanted to coach interclassically as the head coach. And when I became the head coach at Combat Academy for postgraduate, I started crying. It's a long route. It's a long story, but 7 years as being an assistant, and then you come in your 8th season, nearly a decade, and you become the head coach. Man, it's all the work, it's the work ethics. You put in the work ethics. You just go out there and show the kids what you've done, and teach them the experiences of what can happen. Like, and going back to the discipline, right? I could have been, a hothead, but I remember one time playing with Stony Brook. I was coming off the pen against Louisiana Lafayette in Louisiana, and when I came out, one of these fans just said, like, literally, number 55 never missed a meal. I could have been so mad, but I started laughing, and I looked at my head coach, and he tells me, I guess you never missed a meal. So I come in, and I just, came up at the setup. I just got my one inning and did what I had to do. But the point is that, teaching these kids these experiences is what made me become a coach. It's not just coaching. You got to be a great teacher, and you got to know the game. But when you do know the game, then they'll start invest with you, and then they'll keep grinding. And when I mean grinding, it's unlimited time. The only time you have is to sleep and to eat and to drink water. And a day is 24 hours. If you really want the game, I believe you should be out there more than 10 hours. Because you have time. If you have time to breathe, if you have time to get your life together, then you have time to be on the field and do what you got to do. But giving these experience to these kids, I'm glad to share them, and I'm glad to work with them, because if it's not for these kids that I have now, then who knows where I'll be at. I probably would still be an assistant, but the turning point is that I needed to be a head coach, and I felt like I could take the full responsibilities and do it. And I'm just trying to be like my dad. Not my fault.
I respect it for sure. And at the end of the day, if somebody tells me you look like you haven't missed a meal, I take it as a good thing, because I'm like, I'm eating every day. You know what I'm saying? Right. Especially with this inflation and everything now, I don't even know if anybody can afford a meal. So that's how you gotta look at it. Yeah, for sure. But I want to go down a different route for Edgar. I just feel like after high school, your path was a little different from Edwin's, because you didn't continue that sports route. It was the same situation for me, where I loved the game. I still used to play. Played a little bit in college and stuff like that, but it wasn't like a team where it's like D2, D1, like, or D3 even. So like, what was your path after high school, and what do you bring from the game with you?
For me, like you mentioned, it's completely different from what Edwin experienced. I think for me, it was like the turning point, similar to how Edwin explained. So the turning point for me was like, okay, I was able to accomplish all these things in high school. Do I really see myself going to that next level? And for me, personally, it was one of those situations where it's like I didn't really have the resources financially, or like a support system at the time that'll be like, oh, Edgar, I'll take you to the travel team. I'll take you, to these games and stuff like that. So I had to I had to take a more realistic approach, and the more, like, I guess, standard route of like going to, continuing my college education, completed college, and then went started working in what I'm working at right now in IT. And for me, a lot of the things that I learned growing up in the sport, it translated pretty well into the real world. It goes back to a lot of things that Edwin was saying, like what all the accolades and all the things that you accomplished, such as like discipline, for me was the biggest thing. Like that, I feel like one of the things, or one of the ways that you can teach discipline, is putting someone in a sport, because at that point, when you are in a team environment, what you do has a direct impact on everybody, right? So if you, let's say the coach tell you, oh, let's run 10 laps around the field, and you see one of your teammates just lollygagging in the back, and then that teammate comes past the coach will be like, oh, Edgar, because of you, everybody got to run 5 more laps, kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things where it teaches you that discipline, like, yo, don't fuck up, don't slack off, because like that's something that translates pretty well into the real world for me, because like it is one of those things that I can apply and, like, either get into work on time, doing my tasks at a specific manner, like all those things that you could translate from the game into the real world, you can't do it. And I think it changes your perspective on a lot of things too, especially when it comes to like, you know, seeing how things, like in terms of reality check, I would say. So for me, it was like I knew I was not going to be able to take my game to the next level, so I had to go a different route and, you know, go to college, get my degree, and then start my career in IT. And right now I'm working at a school called DC Prep. It's in the DC Washington DC area, and I'm the associate director of technology there. So although I'm not able to have like a direct impact on the kids in the sports level, like I'm still helping them bridge that specific gap, you know, when it comes to like an underserved community, because I'm a product of that environment. So I can relate directly to those kids, and be able to assist them like what all the technology needs that they need, and so like they like that they can further their education. So like for me, I still, and I love the place where I work at right now, because like I get to interact with the kids like on a day-to-day basis, and I'm like directly seeing the impact that is having on them. So like recently we had like basketball tryouts, and because we opened up a new campus over the summer, and the gym looks super fire, bro. It's like a legit gym, middle school campus, and I love seeing those kind of things, right? It's like now they're bringing sports programs to the school, and then that's another way that I can be involved and, you know, participate and volunteer in those activities, like when it comes to sports and stuff like that. So that's a little bit more of like what's, you know, what I've been up to and stuff like that. So yeah.
No, for sure. And I feel like it's very crucial to find that moment of, okay, I need to have a turning point in my life for the better or even for the worse. Sometimes people make transitions and they fail from it, but every failure is a learning experience. And I feel like that's what I got from playing sports is like, you have to learn how to win, but you also have to learn how to lose. Like, I feel like if you're not exposed to that losing situation, because when you lose, what's the first thing a coach tells you? It's like, oh, what are we gonna adjust to make things better? And I feel like I always view my life in that way. It's like, what's next for me? Like, don't get comfortable. I just feel like, you know, like, you know, out of high school and everything, I joined the fire department, and then, you know, like you know, I've worked in the pharmaceutical company and stuff like that. It's so different. It's not like, it's not within sports, but you can learn how to do and adapt to different things. And while I'm doing all that, like, I'm also doing YouTube, like, you know, as my side hobby and stuff. And, you know, I'm collecting cards because I feel like this is a great investment. I feel like 20 years down the line, that's gonna be worth something. And that's kind of like what you have to have in your mentality. You have to try to progress and try to show the people that come after you, you know, show your kids that you can do whatever you want. You know, I remember when I first started YouTube, Edgar, you can agree because you've done the whole YouTube thing before. At first it's horrible. At first you're putting videos up, getting no views, no subscribers, and it's like it's a process. It could take years for you to see any type of progress. And, you know, you have to be honest, your videos are going to be horrible at first, but you have to go through those horrible videos to learn how to edit, to learn, you know, and you always progress. Like, I just feel like this video is going to make me better, and it's going to make the next video better because of it. So it really comes from where you how you look at it. And I agree with you, like, that it starts with sports. I feel like that's where my discipline started, and my drive to succeed. Like, I can lose 1,000 times, but I will try 1,001 times again, you know, over and over again until I get it right. And it's nice to see people that I grew up with, you know, like, in New York, you don't have a great success rate with students and their careers and becoming somebody. And it's like, when I see people like Edgar, when I see people like Edwin, you know, when I see people like Alex that grew up in the same environment as me and are succeeding in life and are happy, and that's what you want to do at the end of the day. So that's one of the reasons I want to bring you on, because I know you guys are. I'm happy where you guys are, and I feel like people need to hear that. You know, I can't just go down as a regular person. Like, you know, I want people to look at this video years from now and, like, you know, be like, you know, those guys did something with their life. So, for sure.
Absolutely, I agree with that, man. Appreciate you, man.
Of course.
Appreciate.
Yeah. But, Alex, how about you, man? Like, What was the turning point for you? Kind of like realizing from sports and transition to your lifestyle now.
Me. After sports and everything else, there was something else that I really fell in love with. I've been a mechanic now. I've been an automotive technician now for about 16 years now. Um, and sports kind of gave me that discipline to be able to perfect everything that I wanted to do. You know, um, you know, anybody can work on cars. Anybody can say whatever they want to say, but I know that I separate myself from everybody. There's always I dedicate myself to 100% of my work because I just know that there's a lot behind it. And when you play sports and you play with other people, there's always, you got to be the one to pick somebody up. When somebody's down, you got to learn how to pick somebody up. You always got to put out that hand and pick them up and be able to give them a boost, especially when they're the confidence you feel like they're low. You got to try to find a way to pick them up. That's why when you guys were talking about getting on the train and getting on the bus, you develop those relationships. And sports taught me how to have those relationships with people. Maybe for the good, maybe for the bad. We're not supposed to like everybody we meet in life. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's different. Everybody, you know. So we got to learn how to work with these people and learn how to establish ourselves a little bit. While these people are there, not allow them to have their energy affect us in any other way. So especially in my world where especially in a dealership scenario where it's kind of like you're fending for yourself. You're out there for yourself. Nobody else is really going to help you, provide you with money. You're out there making your own hours and you're constantly grinding and constantly trying to make money, make money. You're moving fast. You can't really help. You can't really teach somebody something. And if it does, it costs you time. And that's the kind of pressure you got put on out here. And I'm able to handle that pressure because it's just because of sports. Every day you go on the field, you're expected, hey, I got to perform. I got to be on A level. I got to be at some type of level. If I'm not doing something here, I got to be able to do something over here. So you got to constantly always be prepared for those things. And, as I started going in the business and started learning, it sucked to see that certain individuals weren't able to pass down their knowledge because they didn't want to. They feared you because, oh, you're young. Oh, I can't show you anything because you're young, or I'm not going to show you what I know because I don't care. I'm not going to show it to you. I don't care. And what, Edwin and Edgar are doing there, it's positive because why? They need to give that. Like your dad did with every other kid that joined that little league team and was able to teach these kids to be better players. Same thing with you at the school, at the VA. You're teaching them to grow into these individuals that understand what's going on in the world, what's going on with how to be that individual. And and it sucks because when you're in that position and you're probably the one that's the provider for the family, my information is going to help you get a little bit better. And I've done that. And I've done that along my career and help these kids get better, make them understand something a little more, understand how to do something a little different than what they're used to doing. And I kept going on now until now. And then now I still continue the same thing. If people ask me questions, I'm not afraid to give you an answer because it is what it is, man. The more the better you are. Just that some people kind of take that information and think they roll on to it and they think they can do a YouTube now and then go, oh, I know how to change a battery. Great. Don't kill yourself doing it, and I've seen it. I've seen it countless of times. But that's what kind of sports got me like doing that in life, being able to continue my work ethic like that. I'm the first one at work. If I'm the last one to leave, I'm the last one to leave. Just because, I like learning certain things and being able to, be able to pass down certain information. I'm not that type of person. I'm not, anybody that calls me and asks me for answers, I'm not afraid to give you an answer. I'm not afraid to give you an opinion. What you choose to do with it is on you. But, it's kind of how it goes. But that's how my life kind of changed after baseball and all that stuff.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that. And I agree. Like, I feel like I don't understand why people could be so selfish sometimes. It's like, at the end of the day, anybody that asks you a question, they just want to learn something. And you don't know how far that could take them, You can be looking at a little kid, but you don't know what that kid's gonna do next. That kid could be a professional athlete one day. That kid could be the president of the United States one day. Like, you don't know, man. It's like that little interaction that you have with them can change your life for the good. Because like I remember like when I played for Edwin's dad, that was my first introduction to fall ball. And it's like playing in the fall is so much different than playing in the spring and the summer. Like, it's a whole different beast. It's, you know, it's the late nights and it's cold out and you have to wear windbreakers, and it's like to have practice in that environment and like to play baseball all year round because of it made me a better player. And you know, if I didn't play for Edwin's dad, I probably wouldn't have developed the skills that I did better than where I currently was. You know, I just feel like it's self-progress. It's not you comparing yourself to somebody else. It's like, where was I at the beginning of the year, and how did I progress at the end of the year? And I feel like that's how you should treat life. You shouldn't be so hard on yourself. You don't have to like try to figure out, oh, how can I be the best? Oh, how can I become a millionaire? It's not about that. It's about, how am I going to be better tomorrow than I was today? And the first step is having conversations with somebody that knows a little something. They did something right. So I just feel like people can't be so harsh. They gotta figure out how they can contribute and give back. And you know, I would love to do something down the line in the future where you guys, like Edwin, Edgar, and Alex, I would love to like do something down the line, who knows when, but like where we could give back to kids or something, and just share our knowledge. I feel like, honestly, I feel like this is my favorite podcast so far. I feel like this podcast is gonna do great. I'm gonna call it now. I'm gonna say it now. This podcast is gonna do great because I feel like this podcast is bigger than sports. It's a way of a lifestyle, and it all began with sports, and that's what's so beautiful about it. So absolutely. So yeah, so I want to thank all of you guys for coming onto the podcast, and make sure everybody subscribes, leave like in a comment down below. Let me know what's your favorite part of the podcast, and just put some words of wisdom down below. And you know, shout out to everybody from Randolph. Shout out to everybody that we spoke about on this podcast. Make sure y'all chime in. Put your 2 cents down below. If y'all from Luperón, I know y'all gonna put something down there because y'all got your ass whooped that game. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, once again, thank you guys for coming on. I knew this podcast was gonna be great, and I feel like after this conversation today, it made my day. So appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us, man.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah. No, great to hear from y'all.
Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we gotta link up. We gotta do like a baseball game or something. You know, like we could plan ahead or something. We could go to Yankee.
I'm already thinking about it next year in May. When I get to come back from the season, you know, for a few, because I have to do summer ball as well. To catch a game that from, you know, while Rodon pitch, because after he just signed, man, I just believe the Yankees going to win it. You know, you got to believe in your favorite team winning every single year. But like now, I feel it. Like,
I think that energy. No, go ahead.
I feel like the Yankees needed pitching this whole time.
Yeah.
And now they have the full rotation.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
That's literally what I said. That's literally what I said in the last podcast. I'm like, anytime I hear anybody talk about the Yankee pitching, it makes me happy because that's their problem every year. They're always going to have the hitters. There's always going to have your people that give you the 20, 30 home runs. That's always going to happen. It's just, once they get the rotation down is when they win World Series. And that's what it comes down to. Now, quick question.
Go ahead. After Judge being the home run king, how many is he hitting next year?
I feel like everybody's going to be more worried now because they know what he's capable of doing. So I don't think he's going to hit more. He's definitely going to hit less. But I'm going to say he's going to hit in the 40s.
That's what I say.
In the 40s.
He's going to hit in the 40s. He might hit 50 again.
He can.
He might hit 50 again. Mm-hmm. But I believe an estimate near the 40s.
You know what's the problem? When you sign a big contract like that, you got a bounty on your head. And
that's a fact.
And if this man comes into this season and hits more home runs than he did last year, he's gonna be considered the greatest player in baseball right now. If he does that.
That's the thing with the game. That's the thing with the game now. Now it's kind of like he had this full explosive season. Mm-hmm. But now that doesn't mean that every team that faces Aaron Judge is going to throw the same way to him.
Exactly.
So now that either A makes him a better hitter where he has to learn to put the ball wherever it needs to go. It doesn't have to necessarily go outside the ballpark, but he has to be able to throw that ball wherever it needs to go and get those hits. I don't care. Like I said, he could hit 30. He could hit 20 for all I care. But if he has like 122 RBIs and he could hit the ball where it needs to go, that's what matters. And if he's gonna go up there and try to hit him all the time, of course he's gonna have a horrible season because you're trying to do something that you can't do from last year because everybody's always prepared for you. And there will always be that one pitcher that's been waiting for you to see you again and be able to dominate you and make you look horrible. You know, Carlos Rodon is one of those pitchers because he doesn't let things go by. And his energy is like, to me, even watching his games in San Francisco, he has a lot of heart, man. And he throws, like I said, he's just one of those pitchers that you're not going to beat him twice, and he's not going to allow you to do it. So that's what the Yankees need, and that's definitely a good thing. But on the Judge end of it, I'm thinking he's going to hit probably low 30s. He's not going to go all crazy because, to me, he still needs that protection, and I still don't think the Yankees giving him that protection that he really needs. You know, LeMahieu comes back healthy. How healthy is he going to be? You don't really know what you're going to get from him. You got, Giancarlo Stanton's getting older. It's not going to be the same. He's still going to go out there. He's going to still hit you. He's going to hit he's going to hit a golf ball to the moon all the time. But how consistent is that going to be? You got nobody to protect him. And that's what you need. You need somebody to get behind him and in front of him to be able to protect him. And I don't think the Yankees, they still need to find that. I love the fact that the young kids are starting to show out, which is a great thing for them. But Judge still needs that protection, and I don't, like I said, to me there's still a lot that has to get built, and that's just me as a Yankee fan looking at the lineup. I'm rooting for them, but I just see this kind of Yankee fans that live in that delusional space. We're gonna win it. We're gonna do it all. No, hold on, time out, bro. Like there's things that gotta get done. You know what I'm saying? Still a lot to go on, but yeah, that's where I feel like he's gonna be at next year.
Well, you got him at Edgar.
I definitely agree with the points that you all made. I think there's gonna have to be like an adaptation period for him, where it's like people are gonna try to go ham. They're gonna throw everything they got at him. So I think it's definitely gonna change the game a little bit for him. But I think I agree that I don't think he's gonna hit as much home runs as he did this season just because of that. That's not to say that he's not. I think I'm thinking it's gonna be in that same ballpark of like 30 to 40, and it all depends on a lot of the factors that he's gonna come into the next season for, like how healthy he's gonna be, the training, the spring training, what he does, to prepare for that heat that's gonna come to him. But yeah, I think it's gonna be around that 30 to 40 home run for sure.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing we can guarantee, his walk rate is gonna increase this season for sure.
Yep.
But
but he is really patient. I'll give him that. His patience is it's there sometimes, and sometimes it's not there. But he's gonna have to learn to be very, very patient this year, and be able to take those walks. And then the Yankees is gonna have to learn how to, be able to capitalize off of those walks too. Which is, like I said, that's what scares me. You know what I'm saying? That's what is like. How do we respond to him getting walked? Are we gonna go for the hits? Or are we gonna try to do whatever? Or are we gonna be swinging and missing every day? Like I still have that number in my head when they faced the Astros and he struck out 50 plus times. An entire series. They couldn't hit the ball for nothing. Like it's like they were swinging with wiffle ball bats. You know what I'm saying? They just couldn't hit it. Just couldn't find a damn place to put the ball nowhere.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the ideal thing is you want to see the Yankees play good and you want to see the Astros lose. I feel like it's such a big transition. It went from Boston being the Yankee rivals to now the Astros. We worry more about the Astros than the Red Sox. So it's crazy to see how things transition and everything in sports. But I'm predicting the Yankees are gonna have a good season as always. They're gonna make a playoff run. It's just a matter of how's the rotation gonna hold up. That's what it's gonna come down to. But yeah,
that back end.
in order to win a championship, you need 3 legit arms, you know. And now that they do have 3, I believe we can see the 28th championship, and we can actually witness after all those years that we talked. Yeah, we witnessed it back in 2009 when we were in the classroom and we was going nuts. But now that we're adults, we actually would like to see the atmosphere of a celebration at Yankee Stadium. You know, where we all can actually catch up a World Series game and actually experience it. Well, at the Judge standpoint, I believe that if he goes into the offseason and work on his play discipline, I think he can match up that 62. Because that's how it goes, you know. You go into the offseason, you work on your weakness. And if you don't, then you're going to do the same. That's why players don't develop well, because they work on their strength instead of their weaknesses. And that's not how it goes. To be an all-around player like Mike Trout, like Mookie Betts, you need to work in, and any of those young rising stars, Aaron Judge, you need to work on every area. Like Judge rookie year, it was about vision. You know, he had 52, but I believe 52, but it was his vision. Then over the years, he has improved through his play discipline. Now he needs to add more into it. And then he needs to be aware that next season, they're not going to give him sweet pitches. They're all going to be pitches that could be 6 inches off the plate. And he needs to be prepared. And he doesn't have a problem with believing with his teammates, but his teammates going to have to back it up now. Because after you have a stellar performance the previous season, the next season ain't going to be easy. And especially when you just finished signing a multi-year deal, you better match up those numbers. So he's under pressure, but he can handle the pressure in New York. And it goes for all sports. If you can handle the pressure in New York, then you're going to be in the game for a long time.
Definitely. I believe it. As like I said, it's how you go into, like I said, you know best, Edwin. It's how you go into that season. You know how you mentally are saying to yourself, "Yo, all right, I know what this is coming and this is coming. I got to get ready for it now. Let's work on it now, and let's do this." You know, it's definitely a big mind fuck. Is like what I like to say, because you can psych yourself out, man. You can, like, as especially as a baseball player, when things get bad, man, that shit just goes. It everything. It goes from your mind all the way down to your whole body. And if he goes in there how he's gone in there the last couple of years, I think he's gonna be all right. It's just that everybody else has got to be on the same page with him. Everybody else has got to be on the same length. You gotta say same brain waves, man. Let's do this together. Let's get on it. Because it doesn't help that if Garrett Cole's pitching gems, but y'all only scoring 1 run, and he's got to overwork, especially now with load management and everything else, and there he's got to get pulled off of the 6th or the 7th, and you got to rely on the back end, and the back end ain't too good. Well, guess what? Now y'all guys gonna end up losing these 1-run games, or these 2-run, 3-run games because y'all can't find it. You know what I mean? Y'all can't find it in the lineup, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating. You know best, Edwin, because like I said, you pitch those games, and when you're out here throwing your heart out, and your guys ain't responding, it sucks, because now you got to go out there and throw even. You got to be smarter. You got to throw harder. You got to do everything you can to be able to keep the game close. So,
and that carries from the mental aspect of it. Like mentally, sometimes when you don't have it there, you got to believe in your teammates. And if you don't got it for the day, you don't. And that's when you learn how to be better. And if you choose not to, then what are you going to do? You're playing the game, so the choice is yours. If you don't play the game, well, it's okay, because in every sport, there is a failure part. You have to learn how to fail in order to be a better ball player. But if you choose to nag all the time, then what are you doing? Just take a seat watch your teammates play and see what they do, why they're still on the field, apply to it, and then take it to the next game, and that's how you get better. That's why in sport there's no I in team. You'll always have teammates for you to get help. Even Hall of Famers, they get advices from others because they're not perfect. Perfect doesn't exist in human existence. So why try to be perfect at the field? You know you're bound to fail. All the great players have failed before, but they have learned how to bounce back, and that's why everybody just tip their caps. You know.
For sure. Yeah, but yeah. So to close out the podcast, y'all could plug your social medias if y'all want, and also state what's next for y'all. Like I'm big fans for y'all future because at the end of the day, y'all my boys, and I want to see y'all succeed. Like I'm never gonna wish bad upon anybody, and yeah. So just what do you guys have planned next for yourself, or what's something maybe you're doing on the side? It doesn't have to be necessarily your career. It could be something you're working on personally on the side. And then and make sure y'all plug your social medias up. I think I deserve a follow after this podcast. Yeah. I respect your character, and I feel like I'm definitely gonna bring y'all on the podcast in the future.
For sure, bro.
Absolutely. I say what's next for me is get the national postgraduate title. I don't know what the future holds with me, but this is what I have now. What I have now is what I need to work on. And day to day, you have to, build a relationship with the kids and make sure that they're healthy on both ends so they could be ready to go. And I just hope that they have a great holiday and see them in January, get back to the work. And, January 8th, that's when we break off. The tip-off is there. I'll be playing in Virginia. I am playing against junior colleges and universities, which is crazy. But it's great that, they get the introduction of, college baseball even before they even get into college, because we want for them to be better. And based on, their work ethics, I have no problem. They love the game. The only thing I just worry about is focus. That's the main thing about it. Just stay focused. And they've done well with them, based on the metrics, the numbers wise, they have gotten up, and I had a few kids coming in throwing low 80s, and they're already in the upper 80s, and it's only half of the year now. I can't wait when it hits the season, when it's, better climate, hot climate. And I can't wait what's in store for them, because they're going to have just as good future as I had in terms of my baseball career. I went far. I played in Division I baseball, and I'm glad I had the opportunity. But I want more for them. I want them to surpass me. I want them to be better than me. And that's my job. My job is for them to do well on and off the field, and hopefully they get it done. Same brain, same page.
For sure. And then you want to plug your social media?
Yeah, of course, Cornell Eddie. Not with not with the Y, it's with the IE.
Gotcha.
Wow.
If anything, I'll put it down in the description. So if you wanna go follow that's your Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you wanna go follow him on Instagram? It'll be down in the description. Then how about you, Edgar? What's next for you? And plug your Insta.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I'm actually, because of the winter time, I'm trying to get back into like the gym. So I just signed up for like a rec center. It's in the Fairfax County, so like you have access to like 6 or 7 rec centers. So I've just been, trying to get into the gym. I'm trying to like switch it up a little bit because I was talking to my wife recently. And I'm just like, in order for me to feel like I got a workout in, I have to play some sort of sport. And of course, the easiest thing is like basketball because it's a rec center. You got comp in there. I just pull up, put some shots up, get my cardio in. And also I'm trying to mix in like actually like weight training and stuff like that. So just doing that. And when the springtime comes around, I want to join like a softball league. I know it's like it's pretty mediocre, but I'm just like I might as well just do it because I miss it. I miss being out there. The competitive nature of it. Like I'm very very competitive when I'm playing any sport. So like that's one of the things that I miss the most. Just bringing that competitive side out of me is something I want. Just like lock in.
Listen, those 40 and 50-year-old leagues are probably the most competitive out of everything I've ever seen in my life. Because these old heads always have something to prove, and they fuck the most shit out of anybody I've ever seen in my life. But it's the most fun that you have ever. Definitely. But that definitely sounds awesome, bro. I really like that, man.
Appreciate you. Yeah, man. I'm just trying to, get back into it because it's been a long time. I think I stepped away from the game, so I was just like, every time I look, I brought up my gloves and stuff. This is like my glove that I first started playing baseball with from IS 195 middle school, and then this is the other glove that I have from like Randolph when I started pitching and playing outfield, bro. It's been a long road, bro. And I just want to get back into it.
That thing's a broken in too. You don't even gotta break them in.
They're gonna go, man.
You don't gotta put them in your fridge and with a bag tied up with a softball in the middle.
Right? Nope, they're ready to go.
You don't gotta put pine tar on it.
Nope,
but but I like that you starting off with a simple task and a simple goal. Just work on yourself. Work on your physical, on your health. And by playing basketball, baseball, softball, and then that's valid, man. I feel like it always doesn't have to be something stressful, something that is money related or something. Like it's a simple task, but a lot of work ethic goes into it.
So, yeah, man, slowly but surely.
yeah, we're gonna get there. What's your Instagram? So when you get the 6-pack, they go pull up and view them pics and shit.
Sexy
but now y'all can follow me at it's Edgar JC, ITSEDGAR JC. That's my social across everything. But yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to getting back into it.
For sure. So I'll make sure to put his the link for his Instagram as well in the description. So yeah, make sure y'all go subscribe and show him some love. Let them know y'all enjoyed the podcast. And then Alex, what's next for you, man?
Well, definitely want to continue this podcast with you. Keep building it. Keep going forward with all this stuff. Seriously happy for Edgar and Edwin to join us today. Definitely like both their paths. Edwin, I'm rooting for you the whole way, bro. Keep pushing, bro. I know you're going to be... the way you sound, it's going to go beyond where you're at now. And I hope that for you. I sincerely hope that for you. Edgar as well, man. I hope you keep pushing to get these kids to where they need to be, man. And you too, Edwin, because definitely the more we push the youth, man, the better the world's going to be. And for you, Edwin, man, like I said, the more you able to guide these kids in the right direction, wherever path they may choose, man, they're going to thank you, bro. And they're going to thank you. And that's probably the better feeling in life, man, when you help these kids get to a certain point and they're able to look at you and say, thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for pushing me. That's a better feeling. That's more gratifying than anything in this world, man. So I definitely hope the best for you guys. And like I said, I'm rooting for both of y'all, man. I really am rooting for you.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, you want to see this podcast progress, so make sure y'all subscribe and leave a like, man. It only takes 2 seconds. Make sure y'all leave a comment down below. Let me know your favorite part. Let me see the comments about the 6-pack down below. But yeah, I mean, my personal goal as well is, I want to see this channel.
You can't do that because now Edgar's gonna be under pressure, man.
I know. Nah, I mean, slowly but surely, it's not. It's not gonna happen.
KUDOS, you might want to get back into boxing because after he comes out with the pack, It's going to motivate you.
Don't worry, I got him covered. I'm gonna draw it on him. I'm gonna airbrush
him. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, my personal goal is, I wanna grow this channel to something big. Not just about the subscribers. I wanna bring people on like you guys that are making the change, and that aren't being seen, to the public eye. So I just feel like that's my way of giving back, not only to you guys that deserve it, but also to inspire those at home that may be depressed or may not know what's next for them. It's just a lot of times when people talk, they talk about all the positive things they accomplished, but I'm sure throughout everything you guys saw a lot of failure, and the minor things in life. So it's difficult things you experience with family, friends, and just in general you learn. So I know you guys didn't speak of those things today, but maybe in the future you could come on and speak about that. But yeah, just keep pushing. That's my advice, and to everybody listening and watching, just hang on. Everything gets better. Life is not so difficult the way we make it. Like, it's the little things in life. So once again, thanks everybody for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next podcast. Catch y'all later. Peace.
Take it,
All right, bro. Later.